What is going on, good people of YouTube? My name is Josh. Welcome back into another Madden 18 Madden Ultimate Team video. And today, guys, I'm going to be talking a little bit about some of my decisions, man. I like going through this. I like letting everybody know, why I make a lot of the moves that I do. I would recommend, if you're really into this game, really into Madden Ultimate Team, man, plan out a strategy. It may or may not work out exactly like you want. For example, I had anticipations of Stephon Diggs being in our starting lineup going forward, powering him up. That actually has not taken place just yet. It may down the road, but we've come into, a different situation to where we don't necessarily need Stephon Diggs right now because it made more sense to do other moves. I'm going to be talking through some of those moves here today. I'm also going to be showing you guys my rationale here when trading in some of these series tokens, to get a certain player, whether it be an 87, 88, 89, 75, 74. Nah, we're not going to be doing any of that mess. But let's just show you real quick, man. There's Series 1 and Series 2 tokens. Now, if you click on Series 1, for one token, that gives you a Nat Gold offensive player. One token also gives you Nat Gold defensive. 4 gives you a Nat Elite. Another 4 gives you a Nat Elite. I wouldn't recommend doing those at all unless you're just starting out and really, need to maybe do a Nat offensive or defensive player. The likelihood of you getting someone that's going to impact your team, if you've already got, say, an 88 overall team or so, like you see that we've got here, is not very good at all. So I wouldn't waste any tokens on that. Now this one you could possibly do if you wanted to maximize. Now the 83 to 86 overall players are really only going for about maybe 10k or really 5k on the low end, and I'd say maybe 20k, 30k on the high end if you've got an 86 overall, maybe more depending on who the player is. But once again, I would maybe only recommend doing that, if you say, for example, have a team that is only around an 82 or 83 overall. Maybe you've played some seasons, some weekend league, you got a couple tokens. You want to get a player to help upgrade, and maybe you could sell him down the road, that'd be fine. Or if you just want to run the risk of trying to get someone that you could get, trying to get maybe 4 or 5 guys that you could get if you've got, say, 60 tokens or so that you could get that are 86 overall to help make some coins that way. Then we come down one more. For 60 tokens, you can get an 87 to 90 overall elite player. Now, this is the one if you're going to be doing Series 1 that I would recommend. Let's say you just have a lot of Series 1 tokens that are stored for whatever reason and you haven't used them yet. I would do this because there's Series 1 and Series 2, as you'll see here in a second, and you cannot use the Series 2 tokens for any Series 1. So if you just have a bunch of Series 1, I'd say maybe do this, and say you don't have a lot of Series 2, do this. Now, the Master, don't do this at all. Amari Cooper couldn't catch a cold if he was butt naked in Alaska, man. He is terrible, and I just checked the auction house. I'll show you guys here in a second. He's only going for like 115k, so you can't even sell him for much at all either. To point this out, there's a lot of 90 overall players. Julio Jones, for example, which that's who I'm hoping we're going to be pulling here today, who can get you like 300k if you want to sell someone. So it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to do Amari Cooper. Let's come over to Series 2. So Series 2 is a little more simplified. For 18 tokens, and these are just Series 2 tokens, so you can use, well, I'm sorry, these are Series 1 and Series 2 tokens, so you can use both in this case. This is the one that we're going to be doing here today, not the 84 to 87 overall, but if you wanted to do that, it only costs 18 tokens. Now, 84 to 87 overall on the low end, maybe for about 8k on the high end, 40 to 50k maybe. So, if you have, over 64 or so tokens, you want to get about 3 or 4, 84 to 87 overalls, go for it. Hopefully you'll pull some 87 overalls. You'd really be running the risk there. The one that I'm going to be doing here today is going to be the 88 to 90 overall. So we're going to be pulling a guaranteed 88. Hopefully a 90. Julio Jones is a 90. That's who I'm hoping for. He's about 300k right now, so he's much more expensive than what we would like. But nonetheless, that's what we're going to be doing here today. We just finished another season. Unfortunately, it fell short. We lost out in the wild card. Played a pretty good player. He had LT all the way powered up to 95. I think the final score was 10 to 7. He ran this play that I finally figured out about in the second quarter how to stop it, but he was running this stretch play that was beating me for 15-20 yards, and it was too late by the time I finally figured it out. He played some good defense on me, and it was difficult to move the ball, but it was just ran out of time. Once I finally figured out how to beat him and how to beat his coverages, you know, it was too late, and I got the ball back with just a little under 2 minutes left to go, and I had to make some plays, called some routes that I don't normally do, and ended up throwing an interception. It is what it is, so good play to him. But nonetheless, we did end up through all of that. I believe we went 7-1 during the season, so we were able to snag some more tokens. And then with the weekend league that we had recently, where we got 11 wins, we snagged some more tokens with that as well. Got some more coins, was able to sell some cards also. And we did get our coins up some. As you can see, they're down to 68K, but really that's not what it truly is. I'll show you guys here in a second, man. I am just so disheartened right now trying to sell this Matt Ryan card. I've had him for about 4 days now and cannot sell him. I don't want to dip down to 130K. Like, I don't want to do that, but I might end up having to do that just for him to sell. So we'll show you that here in a second. The final thing for Season 2 is going to be the Series Master, Janoris Jenkins. If you were going to do a Master, I would do this one, but I also still wouldn't recommend doing this one unless you have New York Giants Tier Chemistry 2 or better. Also having Read and React Blanket Coverage Chemistry 2 or better. As you can see, that's going to impact Janoris Jenkins overall. So I would only recommend doing that, you know, in that case. I would not do him because he's only going for about 200K in the auction house, so I would not buy him just to try and sell him. I think you're going to have better luck if you go for the 88 to 90 overall. As we see, we've got someone sold. It's not who we're trying to sell, which is quite unfortunate, but, you know, that is what it is. So let's come to the auction house, though, and just show you guys what we're talking about. Here's Amari Cooper. So let's just pull him up. For his buy now price. So you can see his Team of the Week card is going for more than his Master card. His Team of the Week card is going for 272K. His Master card is 148K. That's just not worth it, man. It's not worth spending all of your tokens for that, because the card as well is not... the card may be decent, like stat-wise, but Amari Cooper, he's garbage. He doesn't catch the ball. Obviously, you can see his release is not good, and I'm giving away a player that we've just recently acquired. His route running is okay. His release is okay. The card, I guess, overall is decent, but when you play with Amari Cooper, he's terrible. Guy sucks. I wouldn't recommend him at all. Especially, too, considering if you do want to rage sell him, you're only going to get 148K out of it. Doesn't make sense. So let's come over here, show you guys Janoris Jenkins. So you can see how much he's going for, which it's more than Amari Cooper, but at the same time, it's not enough, in my opinion, to justify using 120 of your season tokens. So he's going for 245K, you know, unless you're sitting on, you know, 240 tokens, which I doubt anybody is. I don't know, maybe somebody out there is, and, you know, more power to them. But 245K, obviously that's much better than Amari Cooper, but I would roll the dice. If you're sitting on that amount of coins, man, get a whole bunch of 88 to 90 overalls. You're going to have a lot better luck, you know, with what you pull with that, in my opinion. You know, let's show you guys what Julio's going for right now, and you'll see. So Julio Jones at 90 overall is going for 324K. I mean, you know, obviously it's not likely we're going to pull Julio Jones, but that's just an example of 90 overalls that you can get that I think would be a lot better, that are not going to cost you near the amount of tokens. So before we spend our tokens here, we're going to show you a couple of additions that we have made to the team. So we sold Linval Joseph, who was our defensive tackle, and we now have Gerald McCoy on the roster. I've got Rondé Barber out here at corner, rocking the Buccaneers chemistry with toughness. Now you can see in the right-hand side over here our chemistries. Our toughness chemistry was all the way up to 2, so I really didn't want to fool with that too much. But one thing I needed to do was acquire another blanket coverage chemistry player. Coincidentally enough, Gerald McCoy, who plays for the Buccaneers, is blanket coverage as well, so it worked out in our favor. Now, I had to give up Linval Joseph, who was also toughness, But what I did there, if you come over to the offense here, we upgraded our wide receiver. We've got 89 overall Mike Evans, who's rocking the toughness chemistry and the Buccaneers chemistry. So it worked out to perfection. We can also power Mike Evans and Gerald McCoy up, which I don't think I'm going to do right now because obviously these are core elite cards, and as soon as I power them up, like I did Mr. Everson Griffin, which I'm kind of regretting right now because I couldn't sell him, and as you can see, we're pretty much set it right in. But nonetheless, if I power those two guys up, Gerald McCoy and Mike Evans, and down the road realize I'm not going to need to use them, then I can't sell them going forward. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to check to see. I haven't done much research to see if powering these two up is going to make a whole lot of difference as far as what their overall goes to or what their stats go to going forward. Obviously, it would make Gerald McCoy an 88 overall. It'd make Mike Evans a 90 overall. Mike Evans does have a Mutt Hero as well, which would power him all the way up to a 93, I believe. So we may end up doing Mike Evans and he's got his specialty with his Mutt Hero is release, which you can see he's got sick release already. I've played a couple games with him, and I tell you, the speed isn't really too big of a factor with him, man, because his catching traffic is the best of our team right now. He's got great release. I think his release with his Mutt Hero card is like 95 or 96, so it's really good. He's got a 90 spec catch, so that's a solid card there. Now, we slid TY into the slot. I actually think I like TY a lot better in the slot as well. He's been making some plays for me here recently in these games. Devontae Freeman still our starting running back. He's going to remain our starting running back. Guy's a beast. We just powered LT up to 91 overall, so he's still in the lineup, and he's playing on third downs. Obviously, Matt Ryan's still our quarterback. We snagged Team of the Week, Roosevelt Nix, which was 80, he was 84 before. This is an 88 overall Roosevelt Nix now, so a much better card than what we had before. Jordy's still on the outside. Everything else is still the same. Jake Matthews, Levitri, Alex Mack, Josh Sitton, Marcus Gilbert, Austin Hooper, and Kyle Rudolph. Defensively, still the same. Tyrann Mathieu, James Harrison, Deion Jones, Derek Johnson, Vic Beasley on the outside, Keanu Neal, Joe Hayden, Reggie White, Don Terry Poe. The only addition is going to be Gerald McCoy. You guys saw in the last video we picked up Adrian Claiborne as well as Desmond Trufant, and then Rondé Barber on the outside. Specialists still Jordan Berry and Chris Boswell, and LaDainian Tomlinson is our third down running back. And as you can see, Tavon Austin is our kick returner and punt returner. Nothing's changed there. We've got Dan Quinn and the Falcons Stadium up to Tier 1, which is good. We'll continue to power them up just to help out with all of our Falcons chemistries. As you can see in the top right-hand corner, we've got Falcons chemistries out the wazoo, man, all the way up to tier number 4. So maybe down the road they'll extend that to where we can have more Falcons players that would add towards, although there's only maybe 1 or 2 that I would even consider adding right now, considering their overalls. When you take that into account. Helping us out with the blanket coverage chemistry since we acquired Gerald McCoy is going to be this Orbits Away uniform. If you guys did not know, these uniforms that you unlock with the level challenges help with your chemistry. So in my case, I needed 1 more blanket coverage chemistry. Just throw on the Orbits Away. And it also worked out that the same uniform, Orbits Home, helped us get the Go Deep chemistry, which helped bumping up Jake Matthews all the way up to an 87 from an 86. It also helps out with pass block and a couple other statistics as well. So those uniforms there, man, are the way to go if you need 1 more player for a particular chemistry. Those are some pretty sweet looking unis, man, too. I must say, I wasn't a big fan of them at first, but as you play with them, man, they're nice unis, and I don't see a lot of people rocking those either. So alright, without further ado though, man, let's go ahead. One more thing. Let's come to and show you guys our auctions. This is the most disappointing thing ever. I've been trying to sell Adam Thielen all day. We don't need him anymore since we acquired Mike Evans. He's not selling, and I've been trying to sell Matt Ryan, like I mentioned earlier, for the last 4 days, and just not getting any luck with him, man. I don't really want to slip any far below 150K, but we may end up having to, bud. We might end up having to do that. But nonetheless, hopefully we're about to pull a 90 overall Julio Jones. That's probably wishful thinking, but hey, I can dream. So let's come back over to the head-to-head rewards. We're going to go to Series 2. And there's our 88 to 90 overall elite player. Worst case scenario, we're going to come out of here. As you can see, this player is auctionable or tradable. So, worst case scenario, we're going to come out of here hopefully with someone that we can sell to make some coins. Once again, guys, you want to have an idea of what you want to do. So, since we have an idea about what we want to do, some of the players we want to acquire to help out with our chemistries, etc., etc., you know, doing this and getting a player that you could sell to turn that into a player that you want to acquire is the end goal here. So let's go ahead and select every single one. I'll probably end up missing one and have to go and find out which one I forgot to select. Okay, I might end up editing that out. I'm not sure. That took a long time. So, we've got all of our series tokens selected. We're about to put them in this set and pray to the gods, the EA gods, the Madden gods, that we get 90 overall, Julio Jones. Here we go. I don't know what to say. I'm disappointed, to say the least. Disappointed, to say the least. So, forget everything that I said earlier, guys. Actually, don't forget everything I said earlier because it makes total sense. If I had to do it over again, I probably would, and hopes that we would just get somebody better, but that's disappointing. 88 overall Michael Thomas is, it's disappointing, but maybe it's not. If he's going for a good amount of coins, which I doubt he is, he's not going to be, we're not going to use him. So at least we don't have to worry about fighting the battle of, oh wow, he'd be nice to use, but I don't have a spot on the roster for him. So at least that's the case. Let's take a look here. 63K. Well, that's better than nothing, I guess. You gotta look at the glass half full instead of half empty. You gotta be an optimist instead of a pessimist if you want to be happy in life. And that is my life advice for you guys for today. Still disappointed with it, though. I think it could have been a lot better. We got the low end of it, but that's not to say if we did it again, we wouldn't end up pulling someone who was, you know, quite nice. This game has been pretty nice to me so far. I'm really having fun with it, really enjoying it. But yeah, that's disappointing. But nonetheless, man, I'd do it again. If I've made sense in this video, guys, you know, let me know down in the comment section below. Just comment sense. If you stuck through the video here, if I made sense of anything that I've talked about here today. But guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, leave a like rating on the way out. Helps me out tremendously. If you're not already, man, and you want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to stay updated with everything that we've got going on here on the channel. Guys, my name's Josh. I'm getting out of here today. I'll catch y'all on my next video.